Hey friends! All right, we're talking about the heart and the throat chakras tonight. OMG, these are some important chakras to deal with. The heart chakra is literally the middle of your chakras. So you know how with your body you need to work on having a strong core? With the chakras, you need to work on having a strong heart chakra to really strengthen the other ones. That kind of same idea there, you want to focus on the heart chakra for. The heart chakra and throat chakra are very, very linked. They're very close together. They work together all the time. If you have an issue in one, you have an issue in the other. No doubt about it. Hey, Mary, glad that you're here. So really understanding these chakras, big deal. In my opinion, these are the two most powerful chakras in your energy field. Taking care of your heart chakra will really help heal your other chakras. Same when it comes to your throat. Throat chakra governs something that a lot of people are surprised about. They think about the throat chakra as being your voice and communication and speaking your truth, but there's this one little extra thing that it does that I like to talk about, and I like to make clear for you so you can understand if you might have a block here, if something's going on, that it's actually connected to this chakra. Surprise, most people wouldn't guess that. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to tell you the colors for each one, the music notes, the elements. We're going to really get into these chakras. And the whole time, if you have questions, please feel free to ask. And I will answer them. If you have questions about this, about anything, I am here to talk to you and to educate you. Hey, Megan. But also to help you shift stuff in your own life. I'm always happy to do that. And then at 9, I'm going to pull you some cards here. Okay. Hey, Christy, glad that you're here. Thank you, Megan. That's very sweet. So yeah, so let's do this. Thank you. So I tried to do something a little different with my hair. I was trying to figure out another way to do it. Do you guys do this before you go somewhere or do something like, this is for the retreat, but really like anything that you have planned, like you need to know what outfit you're wearing. Is anyone else super visual like that? And it's not because I'm like a super diva about my clothes, but it's like I can't have the whole visual concept of what's happening if I don't know what I'm wearing. So I was just picking out my stuff for the retreat. So thank you. I had to figure out the hair part too. Do you guys do that, or is that just me? The shirt color looks awesome on you. Thank you very much. I like royal purple. It's very royal and regal, right? It's a good color. All right, let's jump into the heart chakra. So your heart chakra is, like I said, that middle chakra. So your heart chakra, again, this is my opinion. Your heart chakra is the biggest of the chakras. It takes up the most space. It's the largest one. So you see pictures of chakras and they're all like evenly sized and spaced. That isn't exactly how it works. Really, that's just pretty for pictures and really good for imagining and keeping them balanced. I totally say go with that. But just so you know, the heart chakra is the largest chakra, probably the most powerful, with the throat chakra being very close behind that, all right? Megan says, this is the one I have the biggest problem with so far. Yes, you're not alone in that. When I ask people which chakra is giving them the most trouble currently, it's usually one of the other chakras, and then they say number 2 is the heart chakra. Your heart chakra is something that you always have to be working on, for sure. It's not something that you just clear out and fix one time and you're good to go. The color for your heart chakra is green. The music note is the note F, and the element is air. So your heart chakra develops between ages 4 and 7. So if you've done work with me before, you know that you create your vows and your blocks and stuff in life. Most of them in this age range is created, right? So that is definitely connected in with your heart chakra. Excuse me. We'll get to the throat chakra in a second. And if it's not just the middle chakra as far as like location, but it's the chakra that bridges the gap between your lower chakras and your upper chakras. So your lower 3 chakras, their job is to keep you rooted to the earth, grounded to this life, here and going on, present, alive, continuing on in your mission in this particular life, serving your people in this particular life, your lower chakras have to do with that stuff, with grounding, the earth, all of that. Your upper chakras have to do more with your truth and your purpose and the reason you came here, and spirituality and connection to the divine and bigger picture stuff. And your heart chakra is right smack in the middle, and it really does both, and it also creates a beautiful bridge between those two things. So your heart chakra being unhealthy really, really disrupts the flow more than any other chakra for the stuff going through your body. Megan says, what happened around the age of 6? That, yeah, I say that all the time, because 6 is that magic age, okay? So heart chakra, 6, this is where you wrote your vows, and this is where you hold those vows. They're written right here in your heart chakra. That's why a lot of times when you do this work, you feel very emotional, and you'll also feel like tingling and sometimes pressure and weight on your chest from working through that stuff. And then once you do work through it, it feels like lightness. It feels really good. A lot of warmth usually when you've got it flowing nicely. So your heart chakra obviously does love, okay? And that really is the biggest thing, and I'll get more into that in a second. But some of the other things it does is nurturing, forgiveness, compassion, peace. Healthy boundaries is a sign of a healthy heart chakra. Because your heart chakra's job is not just to love everybody else, it's also to love yourself and have compassion for you, and really go through that concept of taking care of you and providing for yourself and your people. Then you can spread out more and then help more people. And coming from really that place, that's what a healthy heart chakra would do. Acceptance, intention versus expectation. Some of you hear me say that to you a lot. So setting intention for something and how you move through something lives here. Emotions live here. They live in the other chakras too, but they are created and they are born here, and they move through the other chakras, but they stay and sit here in the heart chakra, okay? So your emotional health, your heart chakra has a big role in that, all right, and vice versa. Empathy, that's why empaths, their heart chakras are so big and they have a lot of green in their energy field, because they have such a high level of empathy that their heart chakras are like out to here. It's awesome to see. Forgiveness is here, and connection. So connection with source, the divine, God, the universe, whatever term you want to use. Connection with yourself, connection with other humans, connection with society, connection with your country, all of that stuff is here. Now, that connection can also connect down into your root chakra, especially when it comes to family. But it's generated from here, and you hold the rules and how you operate outwardly from your heart chakra. Make sense? Okay. If you are a very insecure person, or if you're a very confident person, born in your heart chakra and then moves into your sacral chakra as a truth, okay? So that's how that operates. If you are someone who tends to isolate yourself, or all of a sudden you're like, I just need to isolate, that's because your heart chakra is a little bit out of balance. If you are someone who's very clingy, or you have like very clingy times, your heart chakra is out of balance. So when something's out of balance, it can be too revved up, or it can be like deficient. It cannot have enough going on, all right? All parts of your body are that way, chakras included. So a heart chakra that was kind of deficient, didn't have enough energy flowing through it, was kind of clogged up, it just had too much happening and you weren't clearing, that kind of chakra is going to become deficient, and you're going to be someone who starts to be like, okay, I need to completely isolate from everyone. I need to just not be around people. That's when that's going to happen. You become clingy when your heart chakra just has not enough going on. All right, so now you're like seeking and holding on to it. You're just not letting enough stuff in, and you're blocking, and you probably have barriers instead of boundaries up. That can happen there as well, all right? Your heart chakra is so important because your ability to love yourself and to feel connected to other humans and to love them, connection is a smaller form of love, is all here. And if you can't get that going, your ability to survive is very, very threatened. Human beings are not designed to survive without connection. All right, we just aren't. Now, I am an introverted person. Believe it or not, I'm an outgoing introvert. I love to be around people, but they drain me. I like to isolate a little bit to recharge my battery. That's different than trying to isolate and cut out people to deal with emotional trauma. Okay? It's really the level that you do that with. If you're doing it in a healthy way to serve yourself, big difference than if you're just like, I'm cutting everyone out of my life, leave me alone. See the difference there? So it's important to understand that as well. So the way that you heal your heart chakra, what you can do to really send good energy to it is to work on self-compassion. If you want to be serving other people and you feel more driven, like most empaths do, to helping others aside from yourself, believe it or not, starting with self-compassion and building stuff up for you and building up stuff up for your immediate people, that's going to actually make it so you do a better job serving everyone else. So that's the key to really healing this chakra. Anytime you show yourself self-compassion, you're really opening up and healing and releasing stuff from that chakra that's no longer serving it and no longer serving you. Also, the other thing that you can do is really focus on, are you being driven by love or fear? If love is your motivator, is your reason, is your why, is the fuel in your fire, then what's going to happen is your heart chakra is going to be working in a beautiful, even way. If fear is, your heart chakra is going to get all clogged up because it's not going to spin as powerfully as it could if love was. So for example, if you were like, should I go on vacation or should I not go on vacation? If you want to go on vacation and your reason for wanting to go is fear-based, something like, well, what if I can't go next year? Or I'm not getting any younger? Or what if my husband leaves me by that time so we can't go together? Or what if we don't have any money next year? Those are all fear-based reasons for taking a vacation. So if that's what's going on, you're going to want to shift that to a love-based motivation, or you're going to want to not go on the vacation. The same can go for not going on a vacation. If you want to go on a vacation, but you're not going because of fear of, I don't have enough money, I'm afraid the plane will crash, I might, drink bad water, they might lose my luggage, whatever. I don't speak the language. Whatever the fear-based reason is, you either need to change it to a love-based reason or not go on the or force yourself to go on the vacation, one or the other, okay? So doesn't mean you have to go on a vacation and face these fears. It means you have to change your reasoning, okay? So if you don't have enough money to go on the vacation, you don't want to say, I'm not going to go on the vacation because I don't have enough money and I'm afraid, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what you'd want to say is, I do want to go on a vacation when I feel more secure and ready. So I'm going to plan to go on one at a different time. Make sense? Those little switches will keep your heart chakra much, much healthier because you're using love-based motivation instead of fear-based. Okay, something you probably hear me yell at you a lot as well. All right, so the last chakra we're doing tonight is the throat chakra. A lot of empaths have trouble with this. This is my difficult chakra. This is the one that acts up on me the most. It makes sense. It's from since I was a little kid, I've had trouble with this concept. And I feel like I do it pretty well now, but I still have to fight it, and I still have to continuously work on keeping this chakra flowing. I know as soon as I get tired, as soon as I get like a little bit run down, my throat chakra will start to affect me to get me to like ease off and relax a little bit. That's how powerful this chakra can be. Okay, so your throat chakra is your fifth chakra. It's right at your throat. Okay, this chakra is small. So your heart chakra is like this big. Your throat chakra is like this big. And your heart chakra goes up to here, and like your throat chakra starts here. So there's just a tiny bit of space between these chakras, and they really are intertwined with each other in a big way. So the color is blue, the music note is G, and the element is sound here for your heart chakra. Okay, so, for your throat chakra, so making sound, but also listening and taking in sounds are really great for this chakra because that's the element connected to it. And so your throat chakra, quite obviously, governs communication. That's the big thing that it does. And it develops when you start to learn to talk. So whenever that is, whether you spoke earlier or later, that part doesn't matter as far as the health of your throat chakra, but that's when your throat chakra started to develop. So not only is it communicating to people, like to keep yourself alive, like that's all well and good, but it's also to express emotion, to express who you are. So your emotional needs or how you feel, expressing that to other people, but also self-expression. Like, who are you? When you show up, do people get kind of a glance of who you are? Or do you feel like when people meet you, they really don't get a sense of it? Do you have people say to you a lot, like, oh, I wasn't really expecting you to be that way. Oh, I didn't get that from the way you look or the way you behave or the way you hold yourself or for what you do for a living. That's self-expression. There's many times when people will say to me, I think I have a sacral or navel chakra issue going on. I think this is a self-confidence issue because I don't really care if my clothes express who I am, and I think that must be an insecure issue. It's actually a throat chakra issue. If you're having trouble and struggling with self-expression and people seeing and understanding you, and that just coming off, that actually lives in the throat chakra. Any form of expression lives there. Even your facial expressions are connected to your throat chakra. The way you move your body, like I'm doing like this when you talk, connected to your throat chakra. The way you speak. So do you speak with authority? Do you speak loud? Do you speak clear? Is your voice solid? Is it shaky? Do you cough every 2 seconds? All are kind of telling you what's going on with your throat chakra. Okay? You can really hear it in someone's tone of voice. You can really hear a lot of restriction when someone's got like just too much going on in their throat chakra and they need to release. And you can also really hear when someone is very deficient, like there's just not much power going on. You can really hear that in someone's throat chakra as well. Expressing your needs. Hey, I need this. That's a big thing, a big struggle for a lot of empaths, telling people what they need. Very, very difficult, has a very tough effect on your throat chakra if you're struggling to do this, okay? So if you're really not good at expressing what you need, this was me for like very many years of my life. It's still a little hard for me if I'm being real with you. I would much rather focus on your needs than my needs. So that is going to really clog up your throat chakra. Okay, so like when I was telling you, like if I'm getting a little bit run down and tired, my throat chakra will go cuckoo. It's because the reason I'm getting run down is because I'm not really doing a good job expressing my own needs, whether it's to myself or to other people. Make sense? All right. Let's see. Creativity. This is the one I was telling you before that a lot of people don't realize. Sorry, I don't know what's going on with my hair. All right, we'll be fine. Creativity is one that a lot of people don't realize that this is connected to the throat chakra. Like they're like, oh, creativity is here. I didn't know that. I figured it was up higher in the third eye or in the crown chakra. Nope, it's right here because creativity is a form of expression, right? Think of it that way. So if you feel like you have a great creative outlet, that's a great way to really help your throat chakra be healthy. If you're like, I don't have any way of being creative, or I do, but I don't want to do it because I'm afraid it's not going to look perfect or how I want it in my head. This is a throat chakra issue. Okay, make sense? Let's see. This chakra also links to your digestive system. Right? A lot of people think that that's all root and sacral chakra stuff, but your digestive system, and it is. There's a lot governed by that for sure. But it's triggered, whether it should act up, it should slow down, all of that, by your throat chakra, believe it or not. I remember learning that and being like, saying, what? Totally. Telling it to slow down or speed up or expressing like your body's need, like in what way for food and all that, all governed by your throat chakra. So if you know you should like probably not eat a certain food, but you eat it anyways, you are actually harming your throat chakra by doing that. Crazy, right? If your words and actions match and are authentic, throat chakra's happy, throat chakra's healthy, best way to really keep it clear and working well. If your words and actions aren't matching, like if you're preaching stuff and you're not walking the talk, you're not doing it yourself, your throat chakra is going to get very out of balance. If you speak defensively or you speak in fearful ways, it's like it's like drinking poison and throwing it right into your throat chakra. It's really, really terrible. Your throat chakra hates that more than anything. So what that means is fear speak is if you're always talking about what you're afraid of, like, oh my gosh, and you're always saying that, because you're using fear and you're expressing fear out of you, and that is really, really tough on your throat chakra. It'll get really, really clogged up if you do that and express that a lot. And if you speak in defense all the time, have you ever been around people who do that? It drives me a little bit crazy, I have to tell you. I don't have a lot of patience for that. Probably not shocking to anybody. But when people speak in defense, always, like if you say, this happened to me a couple of weeks ago. I was saying, oh yeah, I was just like talking with some fellow parents. And I said something about owning my own business. People were talking about their jobs that they do and what they were doing for the summer with their kids. And I said, oh, I own my own business. So one of the great things is I can set my own hours. So I really alter my schedule to be home and more present and do more adventures with the kids in the summer. And then I have a couple of days where I just work like the whole days, like from morning to night, to be able to have the other days free. And it's such a blessing to be able to do that. And I said that. And the people before me had been saying similar things about why their situations were great or not great. I didn't choose to go into any of the not great. It's just not who I am. And I couldn't really think of any, if I'm honest. If it's something I don't like, I change it, right? So I was saying that, and the woman who was like 2 people over, were standing outside, 2 people over from me started speaking in defense when I said that. So she started to say, oh, well, I did run my own business for a while, but it was too much to do and also be really present with my kids. And it was just like, I just can't do it. And it was just way too much. I really just think that balance is just off, and that, you really shouldn't, you really shouldn't do that. Or at least it wasn't right for me, right? So she's like hinting in a little bit of attack, but she's speaking in defense. I didn't attack her. I didn't say anything about her choices and what she did or what was best for her family. I was simply sharing what I was doing and how I was handling the summer. But she spoke defensively as if it was an attack on her, and it wasn't, right? Like, I don't care if you did have your own business and now you don't. That's weird to bring up. I was just talking about mine, right? So that's what people do when they speak in defense. If you're like, you know what, I really love the color red, and they're like, well, the color red means this, this, and this, and I don't like it because this, this, and this, and you're like, dude, I didn't ask you to defend liking or not liking the color red. What a bizarre thing, right? That's a really, really terrible thing to do for your throat chakra, and people who do that all the time are coming from a place of having a very weak throat chakra going on. All right, let's see. Fear of speaking. So speaking up, speaking in public. I know a few of you, I've talked about this with you before, who are like in some of our meetings and stuff that like you don't want to talk. That is because your throat chakra is not feeling super strong. All right. Yes, it's a secure thing too, like if you feel good about yourself, but also it's your throat chakra. So if your throat chakra feels good, you're okay to speak up. You might not want to say a lot of stuff, but speaking and letting your voice be heard and expressing something that you have going on, sign of a healthy throat chakra. People, when you're in a group, when they're the people who are always like, yeah, oh yeah, and they make those kind of comments in a non-obnoxious way, are people who have very healthy throat chakras. They're using their self-expression to support the energy of the room. So you can notice that as well. Gossip, poison for your throat chakra, okay? Listen, everybody gossips sometimes. Like, let's be real. Let's just say you could be, I don't care if you do yoga every second of your life and you have crystals in your pants and you speak every day about peace, love, and everything. You have gossiped before, and you probably do it on occasion. It's all right. That is okay if that happens. You're human, and it's allowed, okay? But if you do it all the time, if you find other people doing it, and you find yourself really jumping in there and stirring it up, or trying to start it a lot, then your throat chakra is out of whack, okay? If you're like me and you like to gossip about some of the Real Housewives a little bit, not terrible. Okay, maybe don't do it so much, but not the worst thing in the world. So gossiping a lot, gossiping with the intention to hurt somebody is very bad for your throat chakra and just for your energy in general, because whatever you're saying is going to come back at you for sure. But, you know, the occasional, oh my God, did you see what so-and-so wore on that show last night? Not so terrible. Just don't do it all the time to keep your throat chakra healthy. Okay? If you do notice yourself doing it, just pull yourself out and try to do better next time, or have some great tactics for changing a conversation. I'm really good at that. I have to say, like when people bring up a conversation or it's really gossipy or just like really small talk or political, I'm ready. So have some tactics ready to change that subject. I'll give you a hint. If you ask people about themselves, a topic that they've already hinted at you that they like, you're golden. You'll change that subject without a problem. Do it like gently and carefully, and bring someone to talk about something that they feel powerful talking about. You're good. Speaking with the intention to hurt people or cause or start a negative energy flow or to continue a negative energy flow, also very destructive to your throat chakra. So if you are starting to spread a rumor, or because you want to get back at somebody, or let's say somebody says something mean about you, so you say something mean back, hurts your throat chakra because you're taking that negative energy that came at you and you're taking it and you're putting it back out into the world stronger instead of interrupting it and putting in a positive instead. That's much healthier. Your throat chakra loves stuff like that. All right. If you talk over people, that is a throat chakra issue. It means that you just got too much going on in your throat chakra and you're much more interested in trying to paint a picture of who you are than express who you are. Okay. I used to work with a woman back a very long time ago, in my real estate days, that she tried as hard as she could to make people think that she was this really tough, really masculine girl who didn't take crap from anyone, and she would tell story after story after story about that. And it's one of those things, like, if you have to constantly tell everyone how tough you are, it seems like it's coming from a place of defense. Like, why are you trying to paint that picture of yourself? And the truth is that she's very sensitive and very insecure about that. Okay, so she would talk about how tough she was, and then she'd be in a tough situation, and everyone would be kind of shocked when she fell apart over it. All right. So really, when you see people who are really trying to paint that picture of I'm like this, I'm perfect, or I'm this, or I'm tough, and they say it all the time, that's really tough on your throat chakra, because that's not self-expression. That's trying to control what people think of you, and it's trying to say, like, I have this image, look over here at this, not let me express who I authentically am in an appropriate way in this setting. Make sense? So that's, that can be a fine line, but definitely healthy versus not healthy throat chakra, you'll see it every time. If you're someone who, when you get tired, you lose your voice, you have throat chakra problems. That's me. That's like the first sign of when I've done too much. Hey, Stacy. Throat chakra goes out. My voice starts to get, I've told you I had a vocal cord strain from a while ago, from, I think it's like a year and a half now, from when I was sick. And when I'm sick, I tend to get like throat stuff, right? And chest stuff. So it's definitely because the throat chakra for me is the thing that is just always the one I have an issue with. Everyone has one, right? And then my heart chakra would be number 2, and then I'd say sacral would be number 3 for me. So really understanding what yours are so you can pay close attention and work on them is important. Usually the throat chakra that gives you the most trouble is the throat chakra most connected to what you need to do with your purpose, and also the one that you ignore for the longest span of time usually in your youth and like early 20s and teens, is the chakra that will be the one that constantly needs the most attention from you. So for me, speaking my truth and telling people that I talked to angels and I could see energy and that I was put on this earth to like help people divinely design their life and to use intuition and ego and to shift that perspective and help people with mindset and attraction and abundance and all of that stuff. I didn't want to tell anybody that for the majority of my life. I tried to hide that. I didn't want people to know that I was chatting with angels. I was afraid of what they think of me. I wanted to be like a serious businesswoman or something. I don't know to be, but I didn't want to be seen as that. I was afraid of that. So now in my mid-30s, my throat chakra has to deal with all of that fight that I did. And it's not like you can't undo it and you can't fix it. It's just the area that's going to need a little bit more love. Make sense? So understanding that is really, really helpful. All right. those are my chakra lessons for tonight. We have one more one more chat that we're going to go over the last 2 chakras, and that'll be next week. And so we're going to do the crown and the third eye chakras. Super interesting. I love talking about those chakras. But hopefully this helps you understand them better. And so throat chakra tips, speaking your truth, a great way when you're struggling with your throat chakra, a great way to get around it is to write. You can kind of get your thoughts out without expressing them vocally, but it's still expression. So it's going to help your throat chakra as well without you having to speak it. And then if you can eventually find a way to speak what you've written, that's really a great way to like ease your throat chakra into opening up. Finding a source for creativity and doing it is a great thing for your throat chakra. Feeling like when you walk into a room that people can kind of get a sense of who you are, like you're expressing yourself with your clothes or your hair, your makeup, or your shoes, or I don't know, your jacket, whatever, your car that you show up in, all of those things, if those feel in line, your social media account, all of that stuff, if those feel in line with who you are and you can work to find that, you're going to also help your throat chakra out a lot. Okay? So some additional tips for that.